Hey, what's up, Logos Personal Finance students? It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2020, day 62 overall of our e-learning experience. It is midterm for term 6. Midterm grades are coming out today. So, hey, the good news is we're halfway through the term. Potentially bad news if you haven't been keeping up. Your midterm grade might not want to be where you want it to be, but more good news, it's only midterms. This midterm grade is just kind of a progress report. It doesn't go on your transcript. It doesn't matter, right? Which again, more bad news, if your midterm grade is great, it can still go down. And yet, more good news, if your midterm grade is not as great as you'd like it to be, it can still come up by the end of the term. So, lots of good news, a little bit of bad news, but mostly good news, right? It's a good day. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Let's get into some econ lowdown, shall we? So let's go ahead and get on to Blackbaud first and foremost, right? Because you got to go there anyway, right? Whatever other classes you're taking. Econ lowdown is the most important site for this class, but Blackbaud, as we know, is the hub for all the classes. So we start off at our bulletin board as always. We see this big message in red about the Zoom meeting, which is tomorrow, right? Tomorrow at 10 a.m. So be looking out for that. We'd like to see as many people in on those Zoom meetings as possible. Attendance has been kind of light the last couple weeks. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed if you haven't been in a Zoom meeting yet this term. That's okay, right? We'd love to have you in on there. You don't got to talk. You don't got to show your face. Just log in so you can be there with us and get some helpful hints on how to do well in personal finance, both in life and in this course. But as far as anything else on this bulletin board that's very helpful, the most helpful thing is the link, as we said, to Econ Lowdown. So let's check that out, econlowdown.org. And it always takes us to the student login page, but I did want to show you something on the teacher login page. If you just go to econlowdown.org, it takes you to this. Now, I've said before, it says instructor login. It says if you're a student, you click on the student login. If you put your student login code on the instructor login, it'll take you to the same place. It's no big deal. But I noticed this personal finance summer camp. This is pretty cool. I think I'm going to have my kids do this because it says if you have children, but if you know anyone who's in grades 3 through 5 or 6 through 8, let's see what this is all about. Personal Finance Virtual Summer Camp. Personal Finance Virtual Summer Camp. I've never seen this before. This is a new thing, I guess, for the coronavirus. Attention parents and kids, here's a fun, free, and engaging way to learn at home during summer 2020. Enroll your child in the St. Louis Fed's Personal Finance Virtual Summer Camp. So again, if you have any younger siblings, what is it? It's just kind of like what we're doing on Econ Lowdown, only it's lessons geared towards a younger audience. Never too early to start learning about this stuff, right? The earlier, the better. So let's go back to our site, and we will log in with our student code and password. It takes us to this page, right? And scrolling down, you see what we've been working on so far this term, right? Again, this is midterm, so all the work that's up here will be reflected in your midterm grade. So today's the day, if you're looking to get your midterm grade up as high as possible. If you're behind on anything, scrolling down on your site, on your Personal Finance Term 6 site, they'll have your name and initial up here. Scrolling down, you want to see grades. You want to see progress. You want to see status submitted. A grade for the Q&A, right? You want to see these things. If you're missing grades, if you have status, unstarted, get started, right? And if you scroll on down, you'll get to yesterday's assignment. We started talking about income taxes, right, which are due in a couple weeks, 3 weeks. Tax day this year is July 15th, as I mentioned yesterday. And so we have a nice long article. Speaking of 15th, there's like 15 points that this quiz is worth. Another thing I wanted to show people, though, is if you happen to have failed to, if you go into Blackbaud, you will find a link to download a paper copy of this article. For the reading Q&As, they're the only ones where you can do them on paper. Now, I mean, we're doing this all virtually and it's on the computer, so you don't necessarily have to do this, but sometimes people like to have just a paper copy. It's the same article. Same article as if we go into here, right? And the same quiz, right? Individual income tax, the basics and new changes. It's, you know, some people are just more comfortable reading a PDF, right? But also, if we scroll down to the last couple pages, it has, like I said, the same multiple choice quiz, right? This is the only one I started to say that there's no pre-tests, there's just a post-test. Unlike the video Q&As, you can't retake the quiz. And so if you don't like the score you got on the quiz, if you took the quiz and you really would like to retake it because you're really not happy with the score you got, first of all, let me say I grade on a curve. So whatever score you get, expect a few extra points to be added on top of that. Kind of like the way they're doing unemployment right now. But if you still, say, no, I'd really rather retake the quiz, you can take the paper version of the quiz. You just have to, circle the answers and then somehow scan or photograph your answers to the quiz and send it to me, right? And then I can rescore your quiz, right? So that's the way you can retake this quiz. Unfortunately, there's no way to reset the online quiz. You see, I started the quiz yesterday, right? Started the quiz yesterday, got 1 and 2. What's number 3? The responsibility for implementing tax legislation. That's the IRS, right? Internal Revenue Service. Yes. The federal income tax is designed to ensure that taxpayers with higher incomes pay a larger percentage rate. All right? Which one is that? Higher taxable incomes pay a larger percentage rate than do taxpayers with lower taxable incomes. The third one. C. The tax percentage rates within tax brackets often change, not when the IRS has new leadership, not as a means to decrease the taxpayer's standard deduction, to support legislative actions and government expenditures. When the government needs more money, they raise taxes. When the government wants to maybe stimulate the economy, they cut taxes, right? In 2017, the amount of revenue generated from the individual income tax was blank of the total amount of federal revenue and is the blank. Ooh. I'm going to say almost 40%. Is it the leading source or the second largest source? Well, wait a minute. The second largest source of revenue to support taxpayers? Okay, taxes, individual income tax doesn't support taxpayers, it supports government spending. So I'm going to say second one, almost 48%, and is the leading source of revenue to support government spending. 7, the highest tax percentage rate for the top income bracket. I think that occurred during World War II. Number 8, if income taxation laws were simplified by reducing the number of brackets while keeping the rates the same, the result would be a less progressive tax structure. All right. Number 9, 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did not increase the number of tax brackets. I don't think it increases taxes, right? It cuts taxes. But it does increase the amount of the standard deduction. Again, deductions reduce your tax penalty. All right, I'm on number 9. I think I'm going to stop right there. I'm pretty far along in here, right? If you're already done, you rushed through it. You should take your time. If you got a good score, good for you. If you didn't get a good score, take the paper copy quiz and send it to me. And if you've done all that and you're ready to go move on to the next one, there is a new activity up here, Budgeting 101. But don't worry about starting on that today if you haven't completed individual income tax, right? I'm going to finish that today. And I'm going to get the invite out for the Zoom meeting, so I look forward to seeing you all at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Be there, Zoom meeting. Peace.